was at that moment that I realized Chris Somerfield knew me well.
There you have it. What's up, Niagara? It's Chris Somerfield here from the Davis and Delot team, Niagara Region's #1 real estate team, and I am excited about this episode because if you haven't heard about the all-singing, all-dancing brass beast known as My Son the Hurricane, you haven't lived a day in your life. But luckily, you can remedy that tonight at the Niagara Falls Drive-In because My Son the Hurricane is playing there live with Road Waves and
Revive the Rose.
Revive the Rose. It's very nice. Okay, tonight at the Niagara Falls Drive-In, and I am sitting here with the Emcee of My Son the Hurricane.
Hi, diddly ho, neighborinos.
There you go, Jacob Bergsma.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
That's
there.
okay.
You know, you're saying my name there too. You were doing me a favor, and here I am, beginning of the interview, cutting you off.
I know, that's okay. I mean, you're a lot friendlier than most other guests, but I mean, we should probably talk about because we should probably talk about how we know each other, and we've known each other for decades.
Yeah, that's
right?
probably why we have this cut each other off, finish each other's sentences relationship.
So. Yeah,
because
a
of
little camaraderie.
Our age-long friendship.
Yeah, that's right. Do you remember when we first met?
I can't say I remember the instance. We didn't have a Wayne's World-esque Dreamweaver type situation or anything like that. But I certainly remember the time, the era. And it was right around that magical time in both of our lives, I think, when backyard wrestling was at top of the hierarchy.
Yeah. Awesome. We dropped it right at the beginning. Okay.
Yeah. Why not, right? Get it over with. Just rip that Band-Aid off.
Yeah. But even before that, I think you and I were both employees at the Penn Center.
Yes.
And I don't remember us really formally meeting each other, but we just call each other out based on our positions and where we worked.
Yeah.
Because I don't think you really called me by my name for the longest time. Just always called me Cinema One for years. I'm
sorry about that, man. That's so rude. That's so rude on my part. I apologize for that. Cinema One.
Yeah.
I recall that actually quite well now that you've come out and said it in such a frank way.
Yeah.
I definitely recall
It's
that.
like if I met you and I just started calling you Zeller's Electronic Department.
Yeah. Which there was a fair amount of people that definitely knew me as that. I also was Zeddy for Zellers for a lot of years too.
Oh, really?
So I mean, depending on how close to that hole in the mask that you could get, you would know me as that too. But there was a reason for that. I could do a great Zeddy impression.
Can you?
And I don't know how old you guys are at home, but get ready for this. If you know, and there's not many examples of Zeddy's voice, right? There's very few. So I have to reference the one that we're all most familiar with.
Sure.
The Zeddy wheel. So check this out. Ready? Come ride with me all aboard the Zeddy wheel. That's how I got the job, right there. Bam. Woo! I think I made $6.50 an hour for that.
Yeah, nice. We might chop that out and turn that into a ringtone and make it available for people. So, all right. So we're done talking about Zellers because that's not what we're here to talk about.
No.
We're here to talk about My Son the Hurricane. Now, let's talk about the early days of My Son the Hurricane. Where did the idea of this brass funk rap beast come from?
It started something that evolved over time. Like when the band first started, to be perfectly honest, I wasn't involved in it. It was Niagara native Dano O'Shea and former Niagara native Nelson Beatty. And they were in a project called the Morantz Project. For anybody who spent time in downtown St. Catharines about 10 years ago, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's right. Friday nights. It's
Friday
a staple.
Nights,
that's
yeah.
right.
They played a lot, and over the years, eventually I developed a relationship with both of them. And essentially it all just happened by me sort of getting up on stage and doing a verse over whatever song they were performing that night.
Right.
But those two dudes started the band My Son the Hurricane, and essentially they were just looking for something a little different. Like Sharon Jones and the Dap Kings was something that was a really big deal for all of us at that time, and we wanted to do something sort of in that vein, but obviously we're not trying to just straight rip off a project that's already been very successful.
Yep.
So we wanted to kind of take a little bit of that.
Yeah.
And that's where the brass, the hard brass side came in.
Yeah.
When I joined the band, it had already been named. There was already songs written, just not the lyrics.
Yeah.
And so, it kind of came together before me. But obviously, as people have been introduced into the band, it's evolved a great deal. When we first started, or when they first started, it was supposed to be like a New Orleans funeral dirge kind of thing.
Yeah, okay.
Which, I don't know if you're familiar with those kinds of music, but that's not what we do.
Yeah, not now.
Today.
Yeah,
Not today.
it's evolved a lot, right?
It has. And so, as people come into the band, especially those of us that are on the writing side of things, things change a great deal.
Yeah. Now, how many members of the band do you have now?
As far as like the total band is concerned, we're nearing 25.
25 members.
But that's because the nature of our band.
Yeah.
You know, when we go and play Niagara Falls, for example, you know, we're pretty close to home. There's a fair amount of musicians that can be there, and so 25 people are probably available to us, but that's very rare.
Yeah.
Because, you know, if you want to bring somebody on your team, like a baritone sax player who is exceptional at their craft, it's not like you can just, you know, scream into a crowd, hey, who's an exceptional baritone sax player who's exceptional at their craft? Because it's likely that nobody will raise their hand.
Yeah.
It's rare.
Yeah.
You know, there's not many of them out there. And so they're sought after individuals. We understand that. You know, you can be a part of our family and be a part of other families too.
Yeah.
It just means that we need to account for that.
Yeah, fair. Okay. All right. So with that many people involved with the band and all of you being very creative in your own ways, like there must be some sort of clashes sometimes when you guys come together and try and come up with a concept of either a song, an album, a show, like maybe what the band stands for. Have you ever run into any type of clashes as far as trying to determine the path for the band?
We've been pretty lucky in that we haven't, but also there's a reason for that too. You know, I've been pretty much in collaborative projects my whole life long. Even something like backyard wrestling, as we both have experienced. You know, it's a lot of personalities contributing to a single project.
Yeah, it's a logistical nightmare. Yeah,
and you know, you choose your team wisely, knowing that. Mm-hmm. And so with My Son the Hurricane, you know, there's a pretty broad understanding that we have a writing team and we have a performing team.
Yeah.
And, you know, those that are on the writing team are likely on the performing team.
Right.
But it's not always the case that if you come into the band, you know, you're going to be putting pen to paper right away.
Yeah.
You know, we're encouraging of it. We want to see new ideas brought to the table.
Yeah.
But generally speaking, there's a short list of us that actually make the creative decisions in the band.
Okay.
And
everyone kind of agrees with that.
And everybody's good with it. Yeah. And you know, I think the reason for that is Dano, the gentleman who runs the band. Gentleman.
the strapping
young lad who runs the band. He you know, he does choose wisely.
Yeah, okay.
And I've experienced that myself.
He's a solid judgment of character too.
He is. Yeah. I think that what's cool about, and it's funny because I said gentleman. What's cool about Dano is that he is a gentleman. He's a nice guy, of course.
Yeah.
But you know, we've all spent our time with our dirtbag bandana on.
Yeah.
And so the BS meter is alive and it's well.
Yeah.
So it means that he becomes a good judge of character. And you know, we've had some people that haven't worked out great in the band, but to tell you the truth, it's not a large list of them. And as you can imagine over the years, given that we have 25 members around there currently, there's been a lot of people through the family at this point.
For sure. Yeah, that's fair. Okay. So you've been able to try and tackle tours as well. I know last year you had a huge international tour and you played a lot of summer festivals. So cramming that many people in a bus or however you ended up situating it, like it must have been just an incredible experience to try and tour and have that many shows with that many people. Was there any like summer festivals that you played that really sticks out in your head as far as where you've gone with this monster of a band?
Oh, no doubt. There's been a few over the years. I'll just mention one or two of them. Last year, one of the standout festivals for sure was Mariposa in Aurelia.
Okay.
You know, it's a very special festival to begin with. I've heard about it my whole life long, but I've never had a chance to actually visit the festival.
Yeah.
And, you know, it comes with a strong hippie sort of sense. Like, you know, over the years, it's really been billed as that kind of festival.
Yeah, okay.
I remember one of the stories I heard was one of my favorite artists in the world is Donovan. I don't know if you're familiar with Donovan, but anyways, he was at the festival, and there was this guy who was just attending the festival, and he, you know, probably did some sort of illicit drug that I shouldn't mention, and he walked off into a forest, and he just sort of heard something going on, or, you know, what's going on, right? He just takes a path, and he ends up in this campfire where Donovan is standing in the center of it, entertaining a whole group of people, probably at about 4 a.m. or something along those lines. This is the kind of festival that they've been known for a lot of years.
Wow.
But it's also something that Gordon Lightfoot has had a lot of influence on.
Oh, okay.
Well. In fact, if you go to that festival in that park, there's a statue of Gordon Lightfoot.
Nice. That's nice.
Gordon actually showed up and played a couple songs at that festival. You know, super special.
Yeah.
Right. Additionally, the opportunity that was given to us was unbelievable. We played last act of the night on the big night. We played right after an artist by the name of Jason Isbell, which is you know, certifiably a really big deal, much bigger than us. And to play after them, it's just such a great opportunity, right?
Yeah.
That means that the 10,000 people that came to see Jason either have to get out of there really, really, really quick, or they're checking out My Son the Hurricane.
Just gathering fans by default, just no one wants to create the bums rush of getting out of there.
Totally, yeah. And it worked. It went well. We got a lot of great feedback from it. It offered us a lot of opportunity otherwise for booking for this year, and it certainly is nothing that I will ever forget.
Yeah, awesome. I mean, even in that tour that you had last year, it was international, not only because you went to the States, but also because you went to Europe as well, right? Yeah. So you had a couple shows in Sweden?
Yeah, so the first time out in Europe for the band, and we go to this music showcase. So I'll just kind of explain the difference real quick. Mariposa, for example, is a music festival. So when you go to a music festival, primarily the people that are there are showgoers, people that are like, I want a ticket, let me buy it. Ticketmaster, don't charge me too much.
Yeah.
Whereas at a showcase like this, it's not so much just open to the general public. The objective for a festival like this is to invite as many industry people as you can, to get them all in within those four walls so that they can book their festivals going forward.
Oh, okay.
So it takes place in Sweden, but people are from all over Europe.
Yeah.
And what an opportunity.
And they're all just bookers for other festivals?
They're all bookers, agents, and otherwise. So just
wow.
industry people in general.
Okay.
And, a bunch of us dirtbag musicians too.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
But sincerely, what for our first time in all of Europe, what a perfect opportunity.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah.
So we know we got to go and we got to do well. So there's 3 shows that we're playing at this festival. The first one we played, we probably played for about 25 people. It was great. What an experience.
Yeah.
To just even have to plug in that universal adapter at the back end of my wireless unit.
Wow,
right. It's so similar but so different. The second night we probably played for about 100 people. So man, that's exponential growth. I'm not that great at math, but that's pretty clear.
That's at least double.
Yeah. At least double. And then the last night that we played at a much larger venue, and I don't even believe it as I'm saying it myself. The venue itself completely sold out. We can't even move around in this venue. Wow. I'm not going to say anything bad about the safety of this place, but it was totally unsafe. But then additionally, the staircase wraps around behind the stage like this, so I can see it. And there's people lined up all the way down the staircase and then around the corner.
Yeah.
It was just, I don't know what in the world we could have possibly done to deserve that.
Yeah.
But for a showcase festival like that, for that to be the outcome,
unreal.
You know what? Forget about Mariposa. That was the greatest thing. That was just amazing. In a country I've never been to before.
Yeah.
And then as a result of that, so now, we're building this year. So this year was supposed to be, of course, we're going to go back to Sweden, but we were supposed to do some Germany. We were supposed to basically start spreading out from there.
Sure.
We made a very good relationship with the band from Slovenia.
Nice.
And so we're going to start doing some show trades there, start bringing them to Toronto basically, and start sending us there.
Yeah.
And that's how this year was going. That's how next year is going to unfold.
Yeah, for sure. That's a good way to look at it, for sure. Next year's World Tour, right? The victory lap, as you just called it.
Victory lap.
Yeah, that's nice. How did Sweden come about? Did they reach out to you? Did you reach out to them? How did that work out?
This is all Dano again. Dano's a very involved individual when it comes to the business side of the music industry here in Canada. And so he's been working with Coalition Agency Group for a long time, and making some pretty serious connections over there. And as a result, we became privy to it. Mm-hmm. And this was something that Dano reached out to. They might have been aware of us for some reason.
Yeah.
we had to try. I think that to tell you the truth, that's one of the things that you see a lot of bands not have, is that level of humility where you still have to try.
Yeah.
No matter how many people recognize you at your local coffee shop, you still have to go out there and try.
Yeah, you can't coast.
Yeah.
Because when you start coasting, that's when you lose it, right?
Yeah, once you start plateauing, you may as well get out, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You're not going to be able to keep it up.
At that last show you did in Sweden, did you break out the raft for that one?
No. They wouldn't let me on the airplane with it.
Oh, yeah, I guess they wouldn't like that, yeah.
No, we had to stop doing that. That was the thing. I came from a world of metal, right? Where it was you get on stage, you come out running, and you go hard the whole time. And then also, you encourage everybody else to do that. Mm-hmm. And I think with My Son the Hurricane, we've embraced that. Like, we're show closers. That's what we do. You go to the festival, and then at the end of the night, when you feel tired, then we get on stage and we remind you that those feelings aren't valid anymore.
Yeah. But yeah, like you said, so you used to do the crowd rafting, but you said you can't do it anymore.
Yeah, right. Crowd rafting. So, I think I strategically tried to forget there. So what happened over time there was it became something that we were known for. Like here in town, I remember the first time we did it, it was nice because, I had a few conversations with people before the show where they had mentioned to me that they'd never crowd surfed before, ever. Yeah. And I hadn't either prior to being in this band. But, isn't that something that, low key, at least everybody wants to do, right? Yeah. Like, it's just like, it's like,
you don't want to make a big deal about it, but you want to you want someone to just pick you up.
In the back of your head, that as a grandparent, provided God willing you make it, you want to be able to look your grandkid in the eye and be like, listen, kid, when I was young, I crowd surfed.
Yeah.
Me. So, we liked to create that opportunity for people, right? And I had all kinds of jargon prepared for it, where I'd get up on stage and I'd be like, here in this family, we take care of each other, we make sure everybody's safe, and for that reason, we're granted these privileges, the privileges of doing things like crowd surfing. Yeah. So, I'd make sure there was a good crowd to grab the person as they jump. And then, the look on their face, oh my God, we get pictures and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Anyways, I guess I got a little complacent with that, especially the messaging over time.
Yeah.
So we were playing a show in, I guess I shouldn't say. We were playing a show at a university somewhere, not in this city, just to be clear. Mm-hmm. And, we're pretty deep into this style of doing shows. And so I'm encouraging people to crowd surf. And as the show's going on, I'm not really realizing it, but this university, it was a pretty big one. So like people are continuing to come as the show's going on.
Yeah.
So I usually start this jargon at the beginning of the show, and by the end of it, people are crowd surfing, right?
Yeah.
It takes a little time, but we always get there.
Got to ease them in, yeah.
Got to ease them in.
Yeah, that's right.
Anyways, as people continued to get there and they're probably drinking and doing whatever else, it just got really, really, really rowdy. Mm-hmm. And by the time, we got to about 3/4 of the way through the set, people are like, just like straight up punk rock show style jumping off the stage.
Oh, wow.
So it's outside of our control at this point, which, at this point, even at that time, I got to slow down, right? I feel like, what is this? Like, am I doing my break stuff, Limp Bizkit moment right now?
Yeah. Are you Woodstock 99ing it
Not
over there?
Right?
Yeah.
Right. Because, I do pack a chainsaw, but I've been there.
Only in emergency, not every night.
That was a Limp Bizkit joke for all you people at home. I mean, all you people, because nobody gets Limp Bizkit jokes.
Look him up.
Guy gets up on stage, and, I obviously he was in the wrong, but I understand, like I've really built this up at this point. He goes for a straight up Mean Girl style trust fall, like this. He goes up on stage, goes like this, and just falls backwards, not even looking at what he's falling into.
Yeah.
And there was a girl down there texting, and the dude just bopped her on the head. Not bopped her, absolutely smoked her on the head, and knocked her out cold.
Wow.
And, as much as, of course, we've been doing this for a long time, that's nothing close to anything we've experienced in the past. And, as much as everybody's responsible for themselves, I have to at least accept some of the responsibility in this situation. So
Sure.
it was that day that it all stopped.
Yeah.
And I have gone on the raft since.
Yeah.
But it's very rare.
Yeah. It's just not the same anymore.
It's just not the same.
I can just picture with like the deadpan face being like, this isn't right.
Yeah.
I shouldn't be doing this.
I'm sorry, guys. This has gone too far.
Take me back in. Yeah.
Stop!
So over the years that you've been touring with the band, I'm sure you've shared the stage with tons of acts, especially probably ones that are bigger names, maybe some that you were maybe starstruck with. Was there any that you can think of off the top of your head where like you can't believe that you're sharing the stage with this particular person or artist?
We've been pretty lucky, but the one that really struck a chord with me was Fred Penner, man. Fred Penner.
Yeah, Fred Penner, right?
Crawling through the log, word of the day, Fred Penner.
Yeah.
I'm at an age where Fred Penner is still extremely important in my life.
Yeah.
Especially now that I have kids. Woo! And my general interest in sandwiches. Oh, Fred Penner's a king to me.
Yeah.
We did a show with him. It was the Peterborough Folk Festival.
Okay.
And, we were on, then he was on, or something along those lines. Anyways, we reached out to him and just said, hey, man, we're all pretty familiar with your tunes. If you're interested in having a horn section, we got you back. And Fred Penner, in traditional Fred Penner form, gets back to you, and he's all about it.
Yeah,
So
he's
like,
in.
Oh,
yeah.
okay, sweet. So, I mean, this excludes me, right? Like, I don't actually play a horn instrument. I'm the rapper. So, you know, unless he wants me to be like, you know, the cat came back. Yeah!
yeah. You could be his hype man.
Right? Yeah.
Fred Penner's hype man.
So, I mean, this does remove me, right?
Yeah.
But anyways, the show goes off great. Like, I couldn't be happier. The band backed him up. He said our name 1,000 times on stage. Everybody was so happy. Good. But, you know, again, I'm not personally involved in any of this, right? Mm-hmm. After the show, you know, we chat, stuff like that, exchange names. But, you know, that's Fred Penner we're talking about. It's not just some regular old Joe.
Yeah.
This isn't like Blippy or something. This is Fred Penner. So then years go by, and we're at Somerfield in Owen Sound, and I see Fred Penner backstage. So for some reason, we're on a very similar tour circuit to Fred Penner. Anyways, we see him backstage.
Same demographic, I suppose.
It's totally the same people. Yeah, it's just day and night. And I see him, and I'm like, oh, hey, Fred, you know, how you doing? I have the audacity to address him by just his first name. Yeah. Hey, Fred.
Yeah, I mean, you met him once.
I met him once.
Yeah.
Right? This is my buddy now. And he goes, hey, Jacob.
Wow.
That's it.
Yeah.
Wait, where do you go from there, right? Career. Fred Penner knows my name.
Yeah. You guys on first name basis.
I would imagine he's since forgot it. Wasn't that long after that first incident.
Yeah.
But in any event, yeah. I was lucky enough to have Fred Penner remember my name once.
That's great. That is it. That is the pinnacle, right?
Yeah. I knew it was in his memory. I thought it was a goner.
Yeah.
But that memory came back. It just wouldn't stay away.
Wow. Okay. All right. So let's talk about what My Son the Hurricane has been like this year for you guys, because obviously this year is very different from last year. You guys are still keeping busy because you guys have been doing, you know, online shows, streaming shows. You did the show for the Pack, and you did was it a moonlight
Yeah,
session?
we did something in G3 photography studio in downtown St. Catharines, and we played a little cafe in Burnstown, Ontario. It's just outside of Arnprior, near Ottawa, called Neat Cafe.
Okay.
And that's kind of been a home for us, outside of our home for a lot of years. We've been playing there for almost 10 years.
Yeah.
But they had the recipe right. You know, we were about 30 feet away from the crowd. They had their own little bubbles going on. In fact, Alan Cross actually just did an article about that place just a few days ago.
Oh, nice.
Because, you know, it's hard to find that recipe, right? How do you make things work in 2020? They're making it work.
Yeah, awesome.
And I think that the recipe is that they're small. Like, it's a small place.
Yeah. Okay. And then I guess even for tonight, especially, you're playing at the Niagara Falls Drive-In, which technically isn't in Niagara Falls. It seems like it's a bit of controversy out there right now.
It's kind of confusing because, like, you know, we've all gone to the drive-in our whole lives long, I assume. Yeah. And it's not the one in
you immediately think of Canview.
Yeah, Canview is what I instantly thought because that's the drive-in, right?
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, that's our drive-in.
But no, it's not the drive-in theater that you all saw Jurassic Park and Twister in. It's called L8. Late, I'm guessing. It's on Lundy's Lane in Niagara Falls.
Yeah.
And it's a nightclub, but they're going to be using the gigantic field next to it.
Nice.
That's essentially what's going to be used tonight for the big show.
Awesome. And what does that setup look like? You just drive there in your cars and you just kind of like hatchback it? And...
I actually haven't seen the setup, but I've seen a lot of other setups. Like they've been doing it in Mississauga and certainly in some other larger markets.
Yeah.
And it's very, very much laid out like a drive-in theater. I know that... like as far as the rules are concerned, I think it really does depend. But I think you're kind of expected to stay in your car.
Yeah.
And that's the idea, right?
Okay.
You're within your own bubble in your own car, and as long as everybody's sticking to that, then it shouldn't be a problem.
Sure. Nice. That should be a fun time.
Oh yeah. I'm pretty jazzed. You know, it's different, right? Like, I don't know what to expect because I've never done anything like this before.
Yeah. Well, you got like a crowd of people that are just jonesing for live music, right? Because people have just like devote a lot of their summer to going to concerts, going to festivals, and they just didn't get that this year. So they need some sort of outlet for it, right? So this is the best bet.
We're lucky that we got the ask, because I haven't heard a lot of these types of opportunities coming up here in Niagara. And as far as our band is concerned, we've managed to capitalize on a few of them. Other than that, though, I mean, sincerely, there's just no opportunity.
Yeah.
Obviously, our tour is completely canceled. But going forward, like we're we're kind of hoping that it picks back up again in the summer of next year. But
Sure.
I mean, it's not like anybody really knows that. So
Only time will tell.
yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Now, with so much time on your guys' hands, have you guys been working on any new songs or working on like maybe recording something new, or give us some deets?
We it's not like we've really been getting together,
Okay.
because we're just too large. Some of us have been, but I mean, we all have personal relationships too. So like really, it's been more friend visits and stuff too. Dano and I both have kids too, and they're both pretty similar in age. So
yeah,
we end up seeing each other. It's interesting, right now it's a bit of a weird balance because, of course we're not hanging it up or anything, we're not hanging up the mic. But in the same sense, we're all forced to do something different. Like when everything happened, unfortunately the arts were kind of the first thing to go. Like, it's not like you're getting together in a big, large group at this point for something that might be deemed unessential. So, we all have a life too. So we're all kind of trying to balance that with other things. And, for example, I'm going to be a barber.
What?
Cutting hair, my friend.
Is that where you're venturing
Totally.
into?
That's what I've been studying this whole time as
Really?
it's all gone down. Yeah. Tell you the truth, it's something I've wanted to do for a long time. I just have had nowhere close to enough time to learn about it.
Wow.
And Dano, the person I've been talking about this whole time, he's going to be a mortician.
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
If everything changes and it turns out that live music is back in full swing and it's safe and everybody's happy with it, great. But, we got to have some contingency.
Sure.
So as far as writing is concerned, no, it's not like we've really been like getting together to write. We all write on our own. Like, to tell you the truth, I often write by myself anyways because I'm really more so lyrics to the music side of things. So we've all been working.
Yeah.
But really, we're trying to balance that work with something a little bit more economically sound as well.
That's fair. Yeah, you got to have that backup just in case, because you really don't know what's going to come down the pipeline, right?
Absolutely, man. Yeah. I've basically geared my life and directed it in a way that everything I do is not encouraging of social distance. So I've got to do something.
Yeah, right? I know that. You're a hugger. That's your problem.
I'm a hugger, man.
So this is probably a tough year for you.
Yeah. It's interesting. Yeah. But
well,
I mean, it is what it is.
For the years I've known you've always. You maybe jump from like interest to interest from time to time, but like you always dive into it. Whenever you remember, I think there was a period where like you're gonna get into winemaking.
Yeah,
I want to know wine. I want to know wine inside and out.
I even make garlic wine. It's disgusting. What does it taste like? Terrible. You don't want to know. Not like garlic somehow. Basically, if you were to when you see like a turtle swimming around in a pond, like pond water, like Martindale Pond. You see a turtle swimming around. If you were to take that turtle and like get the juice off of its leg and drink it, that's what garlic wine. I assume. I've not done that to a turtle, but that's what I assume garlic wine
can only
tastes
guess.
like.
Yeah. Wow. Well, I guess you and the whole band are probably super excited about tonight to get back on stage and perform in front of a live audience, no matter what that looks like, right? So
it's killer even just to see each other. Like we went from spending 6 months with each other per year to not seeing each other other than on Facebook, where nobody wants to go anyway. So it's nice to see everybody. I keep saying the family, and obviously we're not biologically related in any way, but sincerely, it's my family.
Yeah,
like, it's nice to see them for sure.
All right. If anyone wanted to check out where Mice on the Hurricane is, where can they find you?
We're online. We're on all your social media platforms. Mice on the or msthofficial.com is our website. We're probably most active on Facebook, but lately we've been telling jokes on Twitter too.
Nice.
So.
Okay. Check them out on Twitter. Okay. All right. Awesome. Jacob, thanks so much for coming by. Enjoy the show tonight. I'm sure it's going to be a real hoot.
Yeah. I think so too. A real hoot. Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah.
Pleasure to be here.
All right. Thanks so much. Take care, folks. Hey folks, thanks so much for tuning in for this week's episode of What's Up Niagara. And if you want to stay tuned to what's going on in Niagara, be sure to like and subscribe us on YouTube as well as Spotify. You can also give us a like on Facebook, Instagram, and our website at davidsdelat.com. That's DAVIDSDELAAT.com. Be sure to let your friends and family and relatives and your dog know that we exist, so then we get more viewers. That'd be cool.